From bedbugs in Paris to EVs in Oxford. Well, I don't know about the bedbugs, but I'm sure that the electric vehicle car manufacturers in Oxford and the rest of the UK, if there's any left now, well, they're going to be happy. They're going to be rubbing their little old hands together, since Brussels, as some people like to call it, or should we just say the European Union, well, they have decided to delay the rules of origin, which would have imposed a 10% tariff on all imports of electric vehicles into the EU from the United Kingdom. Because rules of origin state that the bulk of the vehicle has to be either built in the UK or in the European Union. Unfortunately for the UK, well, they're sourcing their batteries, which is the bulk of the cost of the vehicle, from outside of the European Union or the United Kingdom. Oh, well, luckily for these car manufacturers, it looks like the EU are going to delay it. Yes, Brussels says it will interpret Made in Europe rules very loosely in 2024. Well, the European Union is drawing up a plan to postpone tariffs on electric vehicle sales between the UK and the bloc for a year in the attempt to diffuse a row over the new rules, which are due to come into effect in January next year. Now, Maroš Šefčovič, the European Commissioner, Vice President, told the Financial Times that Brussels would interpret the Made in Europe rules very loosely in 2024. I've heard something like this before. Was it something to do with the Northern Ireland Protocol? Or was that just the UK whinging and whining? Probably. Or should I just say Westminster? Probably. Yeah. Anyway, so rules were very loosely in 2024 can be interpreted as loose. Giving car makers more time to switch to battery sourcing from Asia to Europe. See, I don't know if you realise this, the UK's got like one battery manufacturer, whereas I think in the EU there's about 12 or something. That's quite a lot. There's about 100 in China. You know? I think there's 5 just in France or something. Anyway, I'll have to check that out. But I just press point. But what surprised me is a little bit, because a few weeks ago, Thierry Breton of the EU, this geezer here, he said we're not going to appease to the car manufacturers. He says, we can't alter the Brexit deal to appease the car industry, says the European Commissioner. Thierry Breton stands firm, he did, amid opposition to incoming tariffs on electric vehicle exports between the EU and the UK. But it looks like, this is in the Financial Times, that he lost. It looks like he lost. So this is good news for the UK, but it's still going to come into force at some point. Just case of when. But we'll give the UK a bit more time to be, how to put it, a little bit a bit more careful where they source their batteries from. Now, I know Richie Sunak is going to go on about Australia, because Australia makes batteries and that as well, you see. And the CPTPP, or such, Mrs. Badenoch. Yeah, that woman. Horrible cretin she is. Anyway, that woman. She's a great old kipper. It's got to be said.
Kipper.
That she is. Well, that won't be an option either, will it? Car manufacturers are not going to be buying from Australia as part of the CPTPP. No, it's not going to be in their interest to do so. So the post-Brexit Trade Cooperation Agreement dictates that tariffs of 10% will be imposed on electric vehicles shipped across the Channel if they have batteries substantially made outside of Europe or the United Kingdom. It's not as simple as that. If they're made in the UK, it's pretty much straightforward, just straight over. But if they're they source stuff from the EU to go into cars in the UK, there's a whole lot of paperwork got to be done. But yeah, it's still better than paying 10% tariff, because what systems are in place. I imagine it'll be, how to put it, apart from like pulling teeth, but it'll be teething troubles anyway. So anyway, London has asked for a simple 3-year postponement to the changes. At the moment, it looks like the EU are going to award a 1 year. So, yeah, Šefčovič said that the Commission wanted to redefine what counts as European under the so-called rules of origin, and we do not have a precise timeline, but we are now working on our internal position discussions and know that this is pressing the issue for the EU and the UK, he added. So they're not rewriting the rule book. They're just saying that we're going to interpret the rules rather loosely, which pretty much say it's not really going to come into force. It'll be there, and they can impose it any time they boom well like. But as a whole, it's going to give the UK, car manufacturing in the United Kingdom a massive sigh of relief. Yeah, most definitely. Anyway, you tell me what you think. Please leave it in the comments down below, but please boop the old like button, because it helps the channel, you know, it really does. And I need all the help that I can get in more ways than one. Probably leave that in the comments down below as well if you like. Anyway, so you can support us on Patreon or buy us a coffee, and the link's down below, and it is very much appreciated, because without your support, the channel will disappear. It's just how it is. And I'll do different channels. We've got our other channels as well that we got. There's a list down below of the other channels. Some of the new ones only just started, so they've got hardly any subscribers. So if you did want to subscribe to them, even if you didn't want to follow the videos, you don't have to click the bell icon if you don't. But it would be so helpful. So please, that'd be really kind. And I will. Anyway, it's time for me to go. Because I just you know, a bit of music. That this one. Oh, it's the same one. Is that this one? Oh, that's more jolly. More jolly. Oh, I need some jolly. We all need a bit of jolly in our lives, don't we? Anyway, so I'm going to say ta-ta, you know. So ta-ta.